What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNews.com. Welcome back to another one of our Breeders' Cup previews, and we're going to go to the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Easy for me to say. Breeders' Cup Distaff on Saturday, November 2nd. It will be race 6 on the card. I'll bring up the field now, and we'll go through them one by one. We do have a field of 10 for this one that's going to line up. We did have a big defection. Obviously, Idiomatic, a horse that won this race last year, got injured. She will be retired, so that left us, a little bit down for this race, but still a lot of good horses, and let's talk about them right now. Like I said, field of 10. I've got the Breeders' Cup webpage up here. I kind of like this view, kind of get to see some pictures of the horses and stuff like that as we talk about them. So get the Breeders' Cup up here, and let's go through them. Horses 1 through 10. And we'll start with number 1, Candied. And this is a horse, a 3-year-old filly that just seems to be getting a little bit better as the year goes on. Look, I think this horse as a 2-year-old was pretty good. Finished third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies to end her year. Just got going a little bit late, and they kind of had to rush her back and run her in the Ashland off of a long layoff. She did not run well there, but each race since have been pretty good. A nice win at Monmouth, 4 races back, 3 races back. Got beat by Thorpedo Anna, but ran well, got second in the Alabama 2 races back, and then third last time out in a paceless race in the Spinster, and a race that was won by Idiomatic, who's not here. So pretty solid resume. Gonna just try to drop back, make one run. I don't know. The pace may not set up just right for her in this spot. That's kind of the worry. But look, Candied kind of getting better all year. I wouldn't mind playing her underneath. The number 2 is Thorpedo Anna, who really needs no introduction. She has been just sensational in all of her starts this season. 6 starts, 5 wins. The only loss was 2 races back in the Travers, and she lost by a head in a race that, boy, she was gaining with every stride. She just couldn't quite get there. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind at all if she can run back to that Travers race 2 races back. They're all running for second. She will beat these horses. I think the problem comes with the cotillion last time out at Parks. She did not look her absolute best in that race. Did she win, though? Yes, she sure did win, but it was only a neck victory. And I think at the end of the day, you kind of looked at that and said, well, that's not going to be good enough to win at the Breeders' Cup. Now, I think she bounced a little bit out of that Travers. She ran her heart out in the Travers. I kind of think it's more of a bounce. I don't really think she's tired. I just think she just kind of had a natural regression, and you see that a lot with horses. Her work pattern looks good. She's coming into this race pretty good shape. I think she's going to bounce back and run one of her better races. Finally, I will say there are some horses that just don't take to Parks, and Parks is kind of a different surface. Maybe she just didn't like where she was running that day. But nevertheless, still another victory. And like I said, this horse has just been great. If she can show up with her Travers effort, her CCA Oaks or Acorn, any of those kind of races, I just don't think there's anybody in this field that can beat her. So number 2, Thorpedo Anna, looks very, very tough to me. And I do expect her to run a pretty good race. So number 3 is Baticata. This is a horse that's coming off a second place effort in the Beldame last time out at Belmont at the Big A, losing by a head to Raging Sea. Some nice efforts on the synthetic. 4 races back, won a stakes on the synthetic. A big allowance winner on the dirt. 5 races back at Gulfstream Park. But look, she's 20-1 for a reason. I'm not too interested in her in this spot. Let's keep going here as we go to the number 4, Alice Verite. And this is a horse that has been on the turf over in Japan, a bunch of races. Pretty good horse on the turf. I'm just not sure what the dirt will bring in this spot. That's going to be the big question mark. I'm just not sure that the dirt is where this horse really needs to be. Looks a lot better on the turf for me. 30-1 on the morning line because of what I'm talking about. So kind of a pass for me in this spot. The number 5 is Sugarfish, and this is another horse that has had some good races against weaker competition. Last time out, won the Zenyatta by a length and a half. Zenyatta was pretty light. When she faced Adair Manor and Cilia, just didn't do much at all. And the Clement Hirsch got 6, but does have some other races that are pretty good. The Summertime Oaks, a big time 9 3/4 length victory there. So at times she's shown up with some good ones. But this is a 3-year-old that stayed out here in Southern California and just hasn't faced much other than that Clement Elhurst where she was defeated kind of soundly. So a little bit of a, long shot in my opinion, and in the opinion of the morning line maker, 20-1 on the morning line. The number 6 is Raging Sea. And this is a horse that the pace sets up. She'll be tough in this spot. 3 races back, was able to win the Shoe V over a weaker bunch, but then beat Idiomatic 2 races back in the Personal Ensign. Of course, that was a major pace meltdown that day. Idiomatic in Randomize, a stablemate of Raging Sea, got into a head-to-head battle and just went backwards in the stretch a little bit. Idiomatic still ran well, but just couldn't hold off Raging Sea. Last time out, like I said, won the Beldame, kind of regressed on that race. Was 1-9, only won by a head. But, coming into the race well, if you can get a little bit of pace, this is the one that's going to mow you down. Raging Sea coming into this. Definitely a board hitter type for sure. And listen, that Raging Sea can win if we don't see the best race from Thorpedo Anna. Number 7 is Honor to Lady. Honor to Lady was beaten soundly last time out in the Spinster off of a long layoff of, about 3-month layoff, I should say. Got beat by 18.25. Just no effort. I think we'll run better here. 2 races back, did win the Delaware Handicap. It's kind of won some of the smaller races like the Royal Delta Grade 3 race at Gulfstream earlier in the year. Stepped up and tried to take on better horses in the Apple Blossom and did little to no running. Also got beat by Candied at Monmouth Park 3 races back. So I don't know, not a lot of interest in this horse. That's why she's 30-1. Miss New York is the 8 horse in this spot, coming off back-to-back wins at Laurel Park, an allowance and a stakes race at Laurel. And solid horse, probably getting a little bit better, but just looks to be totally up against it from a speed figure standpoint and from a class standpoint. It'd be a real shock if she stepped up and won in this spot, but they're going to give it a shot anyway. Number 9 is Awesome Result. Here, an Awesome Result is a horse that is getting a ton of hype. This horse just wins, and then wins some more. Quite frankly, I think this is the only horse that has a chance to beat Thorpedo Anna if Thorpedo Anna runs her best race. And honestly, even if Thorpedo Anna runs her B race, this might be the only horse to beat her. Her race replays, talking about Awesome Result now, her race replays do look very impressive. Of course, you just keep on winning races, 7 races, 7 wins. You're not going to poke a lot of holes in a horse like that. Looks very good. The other side of it is we really don't know what she's been facing. We do know, the purse sizes have been okay, and she can definitely run long. There's no problem with that. So we'll just see. I would venture to say she hasn't went up against a horse like Thorpedo Anna just yet, but I would say that this is a nice one and one that I think is the main challenger. 4-1 there on the morning line for that one. And then to round it out, the 10-horse Che Evasora is how we'll say it. One race here in the United States, got 5th, beaten 28.75 in the Zenyatta. Just no effort whatsoever in that one. Some races in Argentina have been okay, but she's not really a world beater either. 30-1 on the morning line for her, and just not a lot of interest from me. So that's the field of 10, and you could kind of tell, if you watch my juvenile preview, that's up now. The classic preview will be up in a little while, or maybe you've watched it before you watch this one. I'm going to talk really highly about a lot of horses in those 2 races because it's just very good. This one is pretty damn top heavy, to be quite honest. I really think it's Thorpedo Anna. If she runs her best, I think they're going to run for second. Awesome Result is the only one that I could see that maybe gives this horse a challenge if Thorpedo Anna runs her best race. And then I think Raging Sea, I don't think she's great, but there's a pace duel or maybe just a couple horses don't run quite as good as you think. I think Raging Sea, you kind of know what she's going to do. She's going to show up and make a little bit of a run. It might be good enough, if some of the horses don't show up or if there is a pace meltdown. But all right, for me, though, I am going to go with the number 2, Thorpedo Anna. I just think her best race is better than this group. It's just that simple for me. I know that you could look at the last race and go, well, maybe she's getting a little bit tired. If she doesn't show up with her best, she could get beat, no doubt. But even if she shows up and it's let's say an A- effort, I think she can win. I do think Awesome Result is a serious contender in the race. I just like Thorpedo Anna's chances a little bit better. She's already been over here in the United States. And look, Fierceness is the best horse we've got going into the Classic. He's 3-1 in the Classic. Thorpedo Anna was just a stride or two away from beating him. So I think she's got the class. If she shows up with her best, I think she gets the job done. So give me Thorpedo Anna to win the Distaff. All right, that'll do it for our preview of the Breeders' Cup Distaff live from Del Mar on Saturday, November 2nd. That'll be race 6 on the card. All right, guys, hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting the Breeders' Cup on Saturday.